Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2025 of the Florida Atlantic University Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine. As the Senior Associate Dean for Student Affairs and Admissions at the Schmidt College of Medicine, it is my great honor to serve as the Master of Ceremonies for this very special occasion. Before addressing our class, I would like to briefly recognize and acknowledge the many people who have been instrumental in the success of our college, including our core and affiliate faculty members, our dedicated staff members, our partner hospitals and their leadership teams, our FAU leadership, including President Kelly, Provost Danilowitz, members of the executive leadership team, the FAU Board of Trustees, and FAU College Deans, our advisory board chair, Dr. Michael Dennis, and all members of the College of Medicine Advisory Board, members of our state and local government, and of course, Dick and Barbara Schmidt. Please join me in a warm round of applause for these individuals and the many others who have contributed to the success of our College of Medicine. The White Coat Ceremony is a symbolic event that was established in 1993 after a group of distinguished physicians, medical educators, and community leaders formed the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. The foundation concluded that the beginning of a student's journey into medicine is the best time to influence standards of professionalism, humanistic values, and behavior. More than 140 medical schools in the United States hold White Coat ceremonies, and we are thrilled to be celebrating our 11th ceremony today. At this time, I would like to ask the audience to please stand as we welcome the talented new medical students who have worked so very hard to reach this milestone. Welcome, class of 2025. Please be seated. At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Sarah K. Wood, Interim Dean of the College of Medicine and Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Wood to the podium.
Good afternoon, and warm welcome to the newest members of our College of Medicine community and their loved ones, as well as our faculty and staff, our university, hospital, and community leaders, our donors and supporters, and all of you celebrating with us virtually from home. It is a true honor to be able to speak with you today, the extraordinary class of 2025. You have prepared and applied for medical school during a pandemic. You were selected into this incredible class from over 6,000 applicants, and you went through the entire process virtually. That is certainly an unprecedented start to medical school and makes you unbelievably unique and unforgettable. This is certainly an unprecedented start. What you have made, sorry, I'm just trying to get my clicker and everything coordinated. That you have made it to this moment today, despite all the challenges, is a testament to your talents, hard work, perseverance, and I am thrilled to be ushering you into this next important chapter of your careers today. Today's white coat ceremony feels even more impactful because we're able to gather together today in person. Although we are continuing to face extraordinary challenges, we are trying to move forward with resilience, courage, strength, and science. So after the overwhelming difficulties of the last 18 months, I feel tremendous gratitude that we're able to come together on campus as a community and as an FAU family to celebrate the class of 2025. For those of us who dedicate our lives to medical education, this white coat ceremony is a deeply meaningful and poignant event. The excitement and promise of welcoming the newest members of our medical community as they begin their journey to become physicians inspires us and fills us with hope. I'm gonna take over the clicking now. It is at special moments like this when we are reminded of why we do what we do. Looking out at each one of you today with your bright minds and diverse talents, we know we are fulfilling our mission to train future generations of humanistic clinicians. And we recognize that it will be your knowledge, skills, and leadership that will help us advance discovery, equity, and clinical care to ensure a healthier future for us all. This important ceremony highlights humanism as the critical core value of healthcare. But what exactly do we mean by humanism? What are the attributes of a humanistic healthcare professional? The Arnold P. Gold Foundation, whose motto is "Keeping Healthcare Human," has been instrumental in the development of the white coat ceremony nationwide and focuses on compassionate, collaborative, and scientifically excellent care. Their acronym CARES helps us to outline the qualities we seek to instill in our future physicians. You will learn that doctors love abbreviations and acronyms, particularly us at the College of Medicine. So let's start with C is for collaboration and compassion, A is for altruism, R is for respect and resilience, E is for empathy, and S is for service. These attributes also align beautifully with our college circle values of collaboration, innovation, respect, lifelong learning, and equity, which are at the core of everything we do at our medical school. We are going to be spending quite a lot of time together over the next 4 years exploring not only the science, but the art of medicine. Central to the art of being a physician are your senses and your intuition, your ability to see and recognize your patients for who they are as individuals, always taking the time to listen to them so you can serve their needs, honing your communication skills so you can explain, educate, and reassure your patients and their families, and always work seamlessly and collaboratively with all members of the healthcare team. The practice of medicine is a sacred trust between caregivers, patients, and their families, and you will be invited into your patients' most vulnerable, difficult, and scary moments. You must enter into those relationships with the utmost compassion and respect. As I told you when we met earlier this week, it takes much more than IQ to become an impactful physician. It takes EQ, and you will hear that repeatedly during your 4 years here at FAU. So today I feel great pride as we celebrate this important milestone on your path to becoming a physician. This is our 11th year bestowing white coats to our brand new FAU students. And as with each class before you, I hope you will bring 4 essential things along with you on your journey: grace, grit, gratitude, and of course, a willingness and desire to grow. One last acronym. G for grace, the willingness to serve with honor, humility, and integrity. Grit, demonstrating passion and perseverance, as well as courage and resolve. Gratitude, maintaining a constant appreciation for the privilege of caring for others. And growth, embracing challenges, learning from criticism, seeking out inspiration, and believing that you can grow and develop by dedicating time, effort, and energy. These 4 Gs are critical to your success and ensuring you maintain your humanism, even in the most difficult of circumstances. Our next generation of physicians has many challenges to overcome, but I know I can count on you to bring passion and enthusiasm and dedication to care for your patients and communities, Bring respect and curiosity into all your interactions as you strive to be a lifelong and open-minded learner. Bring courage and commitment to fight for justice, equity, and inclusion. Bring resilience and determination to take care of yourselves and persevere as humanistic physicians. I also want you to know that your community is behind you and cheering you on 100%. I want to express our deep appreciation to our selfless, dedicated, and generous donors who have been supporting our White Coats for Care initiatives, which funds scholarships and resources for our medical students. In the next few slides, I'm going to recognize and thank our host committee and those who sponsored White Coats. In particular, our heartfelt gratitude to Bonnie and John Kay for generously chairing the White Coats for Care event for the past 11 years. We have postponed the White Coats for Care reception this year, given the concerning outbreak of cases locally, but we will reschedule and we will celebrate as soon as it is safe to do so. And this has been such a record-breaking year with donations for White Coats, new donors to the White Coat Society, and a very special new scholarship fund. This year we have raised over $500,000. I am also thrilled to share that Anne and John Wood, who were here with us just a few moments ago and met with some of their scholars, have established the Robert A. Wood FAU Medical Scholars Fund. They are supporting 10 medical students from this year's class for all 4 years of medical school, and the Woods and the students are amazing. Thank you, Anne and John. We continue to be thrilled to welcome members to our White Coat Society who make multi-year pledges to support students through all 4 years of medical school. Thanks to our White Coat Society. We are also grateful to our donors and sponsors who generously and consistently make incredibly important gifts to support our med school. This year, I was so touched by the donations made by many of our alumni. It was absolutely heartwarming and wonderful. And I want to thank also a record number of lobby tribute donors this year. And finally, a heartfelt thank you for memorial gifts made to honor 2 physicians who represent the heart and soul of our school. Dr. Michael Friedland. Carol, it's wonderful to have you here today. And also Dr. Ira Gelb. June, thank you for being here. The important thing about our college, as you'll come to learn, are the people. And these special people that we're talking about today have been instrumental in everything we are and everything we do. So a big round of applause to the Kays, the committee, all of our donors, and our founding fathers. I'm so excited I'm throwing the clicker around. Okay. Next, let's see. Hold on, I'm going back. In addition, to help welcome you as our community's next generation of physicians, the Palm Beach County Medical Society has generously donated new stethoscopes to each member of the class of 2025. This generous gift reflects donations from over 60 members of the society and community partners. Along with the white coat, the stethoscope is one of the most enduring symbols of the medical profession, and I will be honored to hand them out to you today. Please join me in thanking the Palm Beach County Medical Society. Medicine is indeed a calling, so as you put on your brand new white coat today, with its weight of responsibility, but also with its promise of hope and opportunity, feel proud. You are joining the community of healthcare heroes. I am honored to join our community in welcoming you, and congratulations to you, your families, as you enter the profession of medicine. You are our future. I know you will make us incredibly proud in this noble and rewarding profession. Congratulations and welcome, class of 2025. So normally I would leave the stage now, and I was going to take great pleasure in introducing Dr. Michael Dennis. But unfortunately, despite heroic efforts, Dr. Dennis is not going to be able to join us today because his travel plans were disrupted at the last minute by COVID-19. He sends his heartfelt regrets, and he has prepared some beautiful remarks for you, which we'll send to you by email after the ceremony. I will, however, not miss this opportunity to share some of the impactful and inspiring ways that Dr. Dennis supports our medical school. First and foremost, Dr. Dennis provides dedicated and inspirational leadership as the founding chair of our advisory board. The board's mission is to provide funding for educational opportunities, especially focused on scholarships, and we are so grateful for the board's efforts. I also want to share our sincerest appreciation for Dr. Dennis's service on the search committee for our new dean, and also for his instrumental role as president of the Palm Beach County Medical Society Services Board for the past 8 years. It is thanks to him that we have such a close relationship between our school and the Medical Society. He has personally contributed your membership dues to the Medical Society, so each of you has a full 4-year membership, and has also created a special fund for student activities this year. So please join me in a big, warm round of applause for Dr. Dennis to thank him for his kindness and service. Thank you, Dr. Dennis. And you're not rid of me yet, because Dr. Dennis was supposed to introduce President Kelly, and President Kelly just let me know he had a family emergency and he's not going to be able to be here today. But I will tell you, he sends his heartfelt regrets as well. He has been a transformational leader at FAU, and he is so supportive of the medical school and very supportive of each of you. And I know you'll get to see him at other events, and he comes to most of the med school events, and what he's always excited to say is just that you all are the best and brightest, and he's going to be thrilled to welcome you to our FAU OWL family. So thanks to all of you for letting me do multiple people's roles today, and I'm now finished, and I'm going to let Dr. Caceres come up and continue with the ceremony, but thank you all again, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Wood, for filling in for all the other very distinguished people who intended and wanted to be here. Before I move on to introduce our keynote speaker, I wanted to just have another moment. The class knows this already. I'm not sure if all of your family or friends actually, just to add to the amount of proud that I want them to feel today, on top of the pandemic and the fact that you had to endure a virtual interview season, all the unknowns, the uncertainties, the, oh my goodness, I couldn't do shadowing, oh no, all of this, am I still gonna get into medical school? We received over 6,000 applications this year. Over 6,000. So if you think about that acceptance rate, it's incredible. So I just wanted to give an additional round of applause for you to realize what a huge accomplishment you've made today. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Allison Ferris. Dr. Allison Ferris is an associate professor of medicine at the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine. Her primary role at the college is serving as the program director for the Internal Medicine Residency Program. After earning her medical degree from Drexel University College of Medicine, she completed her residency at Hahnemann University Hospital, Drexel University, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and stayed to serve as chief resident prior to serving as a faculty member at Drexel for 10 years, including 7 years as an associate program director. In 2018, Dr. Ferris relocated to South Florida to become the Associate Program Director at FAU, and then subsequently becoming the Program Director in July of 2020. As part of her clinical duties, she precepts at the resident clinic at the Bethesda Health East campus, and she attends on the ward services at both Bethesda Health East and Boca Raton Regional Hospital. She serves on a variety of committees at the college as well as at the hospitals. She also serves nationally on the Medical Education Learner Transitions Improvement Task Force of the Alliance for Academic Internal Medicine. Dr. Ferris has a long-standing interest in medical education, especially around evaluation and feedback. She also has developed a robust simulation curriculum for the internal medicine residents, and she enjoys developing and facilitating simulation sessions for her trainees. Please welcome Dr. Ferris.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Dr. Caceres. I didn't intend on matching Dr. Wood. We didn't compare notes beforehand, but apparently the red dress and black shoes was the way to go. So if you could put my slides up for me, please. So to the faculty, staff, parents, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2025, thank you for being here today. We're so excited to see you and give the class of 2025 the official welcome to the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine. And I am absolutely thrilled to celebrate with you during this white coat ceremony, one of the many milestones along your physician journey. And that's actually going to be the title of my presentation today, because this is a journey that you're headed on. Now, for most of you, this is the cleanest your white coat will ever be. So please take a lot of pictures, put them on Instagram, on Snapchat, let your parents put them on Facebook. Now, as physicians, the white coat has been a symbol of our profession since the late 19th century. But interestingly, before that, doctors wore black. Now, I will say that, to be honest, today, we actually feel a little like those plague doctors, thanks to a little virus that we call COVID-19. But if you walk around the hospital today, you actually may see a lot of white coats, or maybe not so many. This is probably more likely to be the standard attire you see today. Might be wearing some, as I like to call them, fancy fig scrubs. You might see them wearing Patagonia fleeces or other brand name jackets that are not white. But white coats no longer specify physicians only. Many members of our healthcare team will wear white coats. And in all cases, the white coat actually is a symbol of the compassion and humanism in medicine that Dr. Wood talked about. And this was the intent of Dr. Arnold Gold when he started this back in 1993 at Columbia University. And as you begin your medical education, this white coat ceremony is intended to remind you of the sanctity of what you're entering, a relationship with your patients. Let the white coat constantly remind you of the critical need for humanism in medicine, and may you keep the compassion and focus on patients at the center of everything you do from here forward. So let's talk about the journey ahead of you. So hopefully everyone knows what this is. First test class, what's this a picture of? The Wizard of Oz, but specifically the yellow brick road, right? So this journey is going to be a little bit like following the yellow brick road, so come along. Now, some of you might come from families of physicians, so you know what you're getting into. Others of you might be like me, one of the first in your family to go to college, definitely the first one to go into medicine. So maybe you have no idea what you just signed up for. I definitely didn't, and felt probably a bit like these naive young doctors, and you all know who this is, right? The cast of Scrubs. I definitely think they had no idea what they were getting into. But the journey through medical school is going to be one of the most exciting times of your life. I think all of us who are older in the room, we remember exactly what it felt like to be in your shoes. Excited to start our classes, eager to head to the gross anatomy lab, anxious to meet our first patients and practice our clinical skills. Look around you today. The 64 people around you are your first colleagues. You're going to learn together, you're going to study together, you'll practice together, you'll succeed together. You're going to make new friends, you'll make lifelong friends, and maybe you're going to meet your life partner here. So look around, because you'll never know who you're going to meet in this crowd. Now, along the journey, some of the people you're going to meet are incredible teachers. Some of them are in this room. Some of them you're going to meet when you go on rotations. But all of them are here for one simple reason, and that's to help you learn and grow and develop. They're going to push you, but they're going to support you. They'll challenge you, but they'll encourage you. They'll critique you, but they're going to celebrate you. And you're going to keep tidbits of their knowledge deep in your brain forever. And you may even hear their voices talking to you, giving you some pearl of wisdom, reminding you of that 15, 20, 30 years from now. Trust me, I still hear the voices of some of my own teachers. Like this gentleman, this is Dr. Oakes. Dr. Oakes was my third-year medicine clerkship rotation doctor. He worked with him. He was truly, an inspiration. This is actually at his retirement celebration. He finally hung up his stethoscope at the age of about 79. I'm not exactly sure how old he was at the time, but you're going to hear the voices of your teachers, just like I do. Dr. Oakes, Fitzpatrick, Miller, Paluzzi, Reynolds, their voices are in my head, and you're going to have the same thing. Your teachers during the preclinical and clinical years will become like a patchwork quilt of medicine deep inside you. And for your teachers, whether they realize it or not, they are leaving an imprint on you so that a piece of their legacy will be within you for the rest of your lives. And someday, when you're a practicing physician, you're going to do the same thing for newer generations of physicians. It's one of the remarkable things about medical education and the rest of your life as a physician, because we truly get to pay it forward. Now, on this journey, the most important people you meet, besides your teachers, they're like part of it, but they're actually going to be your patients. Now, I think you're probably all a little too old for Doc McStuffins, but I think you all gather the fact that Doc McStuffins had a great relationship with her patients. But your patients initially will be standardized patients. Actors who help you practice your history taking, your physical exams techniques. They're going to tell you their medical stories. Sometimes they might cry. Maybe you'll really believe they have that severe ailment that they're talking about. Remember, they're actors and they're good. And at first you're going to stumble. You might struggle to remember the order of the history, or how to do the physical exams, or how to ask the right questions in the right way. You might put your stethoscope in your ears the wrong way. Yes, there is a right and wrong way to put it in your ears. But that's okay, because you're here to learn. And you're going to do that. But it's going to take a lot of practice. So you guys all know who this is, right? I know he's retired probably before you guys really watched basketball. But Michael Jordan didn't get to be Michael Jordan without a lot of practice, right? And as you keep practicing and getting coaching and feedback, you're going to improve. And pretty soon, you'll be able to do that H&P and that oral presentation with no problem at all. But remember, it doesn't happen unless you practice. And it needs to be deliberate practice. That means that you identify where your weaknesses are, hone in on those weaknesses, and focus on improving it in that deliberate practice. And pretty soon, you'll be like the Michael Jordan of taking histories and doing physicals. Now, during first and second year on this journey, you'll dive into clubs and volunteer experiences. Maybe you'll join a research lab or a basic science project. You'll gain exposure to leadership experiences, to organization skills, to creativity, and to teamwork. Maybe you'll publish a paper. Maybe you'll present abstracts at a conference. Maybe you'll volunteer at health fairs or do some outreach to the community, such as the HCOP program for the underserved youth. And these activities will not only enrich your application as you head into residency in a couple more years, but more importantly, they're going to enrich your medical school experience. They're going to enrich that journey. So spread your wings, find new opportunities, go down different paths that you might not have taken before, because these paths will add to the joy of your journey. When you move into the clinical years, as we like to call M3 and M4, you'll enter the really fun part of medical school. No offense to M1 and M2, but we all know the real fun starts in M3 when you get to go see patients. You're going to have some unforgettable patients. They might have a common issue, what we call bread and butter medical problems. Maybe they'll have a really complex, unique case that you want to write up as a case report. But they will always have amazing stories. And one of the most important things and best things that you'll have a chance to do on your rotations is listen to them and hear their stories. So my advice is sit down, ask questions, take the time, and you're going to be a better doctor for it. Aspects of their life that you can ask about that might impact their health. Where do they live? Where did they grow up? Who's in their family or their support group? Experiences they've had, trials and tribulations, things that they've had as successes, the good, the bad, the ugly. All of this combines to create the patient in front of you right now. So listen to the stories, truly get to know them, and you'll never regret spending that time to become a better doctor. Now, maybe you're entering medical school on the journey and you already know what you want to be when you grow up. Maybe you want to be a neurosurgeon or a dermatologist. Fun fact, she's an alumni of my medical school. Or an internist. But maybe you don't know what you want to be yet, and that's okay. But somewhere along this journey, you're going to figure it out. You'll have an aha moment where you fall in love with pediatrics, or OB-GYN, or surgery, or radiology, or psychiatry, or any of the disciplines. And every day, you'll be so energized and excited to go to your rotations, to learn more. You'll soak up every bit of reading at night, and you'll be excited to have found your calling. Now, unfortunately, not every part of the journey through medical school will be fun or easy. And medical school can be a little bit challenging, like the dog trying to drink from the fire hydrant. And it's going to feel like that sometimes, but don't stress. These challenges are going to help you grow. Maintaining a growth mindset will help you persevere and succeed. Dr. Wood alluded to growth and the idea that you have to persevere through some of these challenges. But how many of you have actually heard of the growth mindset? Hands, anyone? Okay. So the growth mindset is the work of a psychologist named Carol Dweck, and she studies human motivation and its relationship to success. And she discusses two different mindsets. So the first is the fixed mindset, where you're dealt a certain amount of talent, intelligence, and skill, and that's what determines if you're successful. Versus a growth mindset, where you have a starting point of talent, intelligence, and skill. But when you embrace your challenges and you work through those challenges, you can cultivate a higher level of success. And I highly suggest reading the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, if you haven't. But since I know you're about to start medical school and I know how much work you have ahead of you, then at least try to watch her TED Talk, because it's a little bit shorter. Now, as I said, there might be some tough days along the journey. Maybe it's a hard exam, maybe a sad patient encounter, maybe something in your personal life. So make sure you lean on your peers, your friends, your family, and your mentors. Everyone here in this room and beyond is there to support you. Take time for yourself. Don't forget about your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health. And here at FAU, we're very fortunate to have great services like Health First and smart supportive faculty like Dr. Michelle, who are there for you and are going to help you be your best. Because you can't be a great doctor if you don't practice self-care. So last week during the Olympics, who's watching the Olympics? It's only on every 4 years or, fifth because of COVID. But last week during the Olympics, one of the big stories was actually Simone Biles. So she's without a doubt the GOAT, the greatest gymnast of all time. She performs moves no one else has ever tried or can do. She has power and performance ability that is beyond compare. But as last week showed us, she is human. During her team all-around competition, in case you didn't see it, on 9 million times repeat on every station out there, she went to do her vault, which is a very unique, special vault that no one else can do, and I believe the move is named for her. But she pulled out. She didn't do the vault the right way. And actually, you know, if you looked at her, she almost fell. She didn't because she's that good of a gymnast, but something wasn't right. And of course, we watched her leave the floor and there was all this chatter. Oh, it's her physical health. Oh, it's her mental health. But at the end of the day, health is health. Because your physical health impacts your mental health and vice versa. And it doesn't matter which one it is because they're interconnected. This woman is a top athlete, an elite athlete, and she's almost superhuman in her abilities, but she recognized that she was not okay. And she pulled herself out, which to me was the most incredible display of both self-care as well as care for her team, because she knew she was either going to hurt herself or hurt her team. And afterwards, Michael Phelps, who's a goat of his own kind in the swimming pool, was being interviewed by one of the hosts. I can't think of his name, but he said in the interview, it's okay to not be okay. And I want you to remember that because it's true. And the most important thing you can do is be honest with yourself, identify when you're not okay, and get the help that you need. Now let's get back to your journey. So each of you are going to have a slightly different journey, which means 64 different journeys. And maybe it'll be a little bumpy along the way, and that's okay. Just remember that medicine has its ups and downs, but it always goes back up. You're going to have victories, you might have some defeats, maintaining your social network, getting your rest, feeding your soul with your friends and your hobbies and mindfulness, studying hard and effectively, and remembering why you chose this journey. Those are things that'll keep you going. So I challenge you now to think back to the personal statement that you wrote as part of your application. And I want you to keep a copy of it. It's probably somewhere on your computer. So just every so often, refer back to that personal statement. Maybe it's a family or a friend that you wrote about. Maybe it was the scientific curiosity of medicine. Maybe it was the chance to use your hands in a procedure-based specialty. Maybe you thought it'd be fun. Or maybe, like me, you just thought it was the thing you're supposed to do with your life. Whatever that reason is, keep it close and refuel from that excitement on the days when the journey gets tough. So I tell everyone that I meet that I have the best job in the whole world. I'm a general internist, and I'm very proud to be one. I had outstanding education and residency training, just like I know you guys are going to. I know what I know, and I freely admit what I don't. Medicine has given me the chance to exercise all the parts of my brain and soul that I need to feel fulfilled. I get to solve puzzles. I get to develop long-lasting relationships with patients. I get to teach and mentor future generations of clinicians. So this is my intern class that just started in July. Just like you guys, they applied amid a pandemic. I interviewed them all over the computer, and then eventually I got to see their smiling faces. And this is the class that just graduated, that I got to see go through 3 years of residency from those fresh-pressed white coats that I don't think any of my interns are actually wearing right now, to partying on a yacht to celebrate graduation. This is why I love what I do, because I get to watch people grow and develop, just like you guys are going to change from today until 4 years from now when you walk across the stage at graduation. My wish for you is that you'll find this same excitement, this same passion for medicine, and you will, I have no doubt. Today is the first day on your journey, and we look forward to seeing where your journey will lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ferris. I'm sure you gave a lot of ideas and considerations for our incoming class to consider as they begin this journey to becoming a physician. Incoming class of 2025, you are beginning your journey to follow in the footsteps of many selfless physicians and many others who have served humanity in countless ways. We are now ready to welcome each of you to the medical profession and officially cloak you with your first doctor's white coat. These students are represented by two societies, the Dr. Charles Drew Society, led by Dr. Elizabeth Gunderson, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, and the Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell Society, led by me. Several years ago, our medical students named these societies Elizabeth Blackwell and Charles Drew because these pioneering physicians represent an ideal in medicine and service to humanity. As part of our ceremony this afternoon, our second-year medical students, the class of 2024, have assigned themselves to members of our incoming class and will serve as mentors, providing sage advice, support, and guidance that are critical during the first year of medical school. As a symbol of this pairing, the students today receiving their white coats will be pinned with a Humanism in Medicine pin by an M2 student. These pins were generously donated by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. Before we get started, I would like to invite the following individuals to join me on stage. Dr. Sarah Wood, Interim Dean, Dr. Elizabeth Gunderson, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, Annie Thomas, Senior Student Affairs Specialist, and Shara Rialini, the College of Medicine Registrar. We will begin with the members of the Dr. Charles Drew Society. I would like to now invite Peyton Yerke Hansen, a second-year medical student and president of the class of 2024, to join me at the podium. Peyton will provide a brief overview of why Dr. Drew was selected to represent one of our two societies. Peyton?
Good afternoon. My name is Peyton Yerke Hansen, and I'm a member of the Charles Drew Society here at FAU's Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine. Dr. Charles Drew was a pioneer in the medical field. As an African American, Dr. Drew overcame numerous roadblocks, setting a working example for the progress that could be made not only in the medical field, but throughout society. Dr. Drew earned his medical degree at the McGill School of Medicine. After graduating, Dr. Drew joined the faculty at Howard University College of Medicine, eventually becoming Chief of Surgical Resident at Freeman's Hospital. While working further towards a doctorate in medical science at Columbia University and being the first African American to receive such an honor there, Dr. Drew fell under the wings of prominent physicians Edward Lee Howes and Alan Whipple. Dr. Drew established his place in research of treating shock, fluid balance, blood chemistry, and preservation and transfusion. With this, he was able to open an experimental blood bank at the New York Presbyterian, founded on the ability of blood to be processed, preserved, and transported for a longer period of time. In September of 1940, Dr. Drew was called to direct the Blood for Britain project to assist Great Britain in World War II. He collected donations of blood from almost 15,000 people, saving thousands of lives in both military personnel and civilians. Dr. Drew unified the procedures and standards for collecting and processing blood plasma. While performing this amazing feat, Dr. Drew also became the first African American appointed as the examiner for the American Board of Surgery. With the end of the Blood for Britain in January of 1941, Dr. Drew was appointed Assistant Director of a pilot for a national blood banking system, ultimately leading to the creation of the American Red Cross Blood Bank. Following the war, Dr. Drew sought to raise the standards for Black medical education and to embrace Black physicians in the medical sphere. He devoted himself to training and mentoring medical students and surgical residents upon his return to Howard University at Freeman's Hospital as chair of the Department of Surgery and Chief of Surgery. As Dr. Drew once said, "So much of our energy is spent in overcoming the constricting environment in which we live that little energy is left for creating new ideas or things. It should be the aim of every student in science to knock down at least one or two of these bricks in this wall by virtue of his own accomplishment. I hope that as new members of the Charles Drew Society, you will continue his legacy as diligent and compassionate doctors, especially in the face of opposition."
Thank you, Peyton. Students, these coats symbolize your entry into the medical profession and your commitment to uphold the highest ethical and professional standards. This white coat is the uniform of the healer, and you will slip your arms into its sleeves and tug its fabric over your shoulders. As you wait for your name to be called, you may wonder how you will look in your new coat as you walk across one of the world's greatest stages. The sleeves may be too long, the shoulders may be too broad. But there's a more important question for you to ponder. How will you measure up when you put on your coat every single day after today? Let's get started. As your name is called, please come onto the stage to your right and then exit the stage to your left. Audience, please hold your applause until the robing is complete, and for safety reasons, please keep the aisles clear while the students are processing. Thank you. Layla Abdelrahman. Avi Edelman. Cache Alford. Jessica Barron. Jerry Brown II. Laura Quay. Gabrielle Ferguson. Jared Florio. Alexandra Garcia. Madison Goon. Yvonne Grela. Ishan Honda. Elizabeth Hayes. Samantha Hicks. Gaurang Giovanni. Caitlin Kane. Sinjana Kolipaka. Jared Kushner. Ashwin Mahendra. Serena McNervett. Ali Mohammed. Maymoon Mahudin. Karthik Nair. Amy Paskowitz. Arthur Pavlovsky. Julia Prakash. Nikhil Rajulapati. Anna Redden. Adam Ricker. George Tarantino. Faith Do Tran. Rebecca Urbanus. Hannah Weiss. Jason Wild. Congratulations to the members of the Dr. Charles Drew Society. Dr. Gunders and I will now exchange places as we get ready to cloak the members of the Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell Society.
Good afternoon. It is truly an honor to be here today and to be a part of this very special ceremony. To me, it really does embody all the lessons learned on the yellow brick road. At this time, I'd like to invite Sean Griffin to join me at the podium so that he can provide a brief overview of why our students were inspired to select Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell to represent one of our two societies.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean Griffin, and I am a member of the Elizabeth Blackwell Society. As students at the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine, Blackwell is a name you're going to be hearing regularly, so it's important to understand who she actually was. As Dr. Blackwell was first beginning her medical career, there were many who doubted her abilities. During her time in school, she managed to not just earn the respect of her peers and professors, but also inspire those around her to hold themselves to a higher standard. She graduated at the top of her class in 1849 and became the first woman to earn a medical degree from an American medical school. After graduating, Dr. Blackwell moved to Europe to gain practical experience studying midwifery in London and Paris before returning to the US. 2 years after she returned, she opened an infirmary for women and children, which she later expanded to also serve as a nurses' training facility with the help of her younger sister, Dr. Emily Blackwell. In 1869, Dr. Blackwell returned to London to help establish and then teach at the London School of Medicine for Women, where she spent the rest of her medical career. This further accentuates her legacy of not only being the first female doctor in the US and Britain, but also making sure that many more would be able to follow in her footsteps. It is for this reason that one of our 2 academic societies was named the Elizabeth Blackwell Society. Much like our society's namesake, our college believes that not gender, but traits such as professionalism, leadership, and compassion are what determine whether or not someone will be a good doctor, and that a career in medicine is something that everyone should have an equal opportunity to pursue. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Let's now continue with our white coat ceremony with the cloaking of the members of the Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell Society. Students, as your names are called, please come onto the stage on your right and exit the stage on your left. Audience, please hold your applause until the robing is complete. And for safety reasons, please keep the aisles clear while the students are processing. Thank you. Shruti Agarwal. Lama Al-Abdul Razak. Amanda Balish. Jesse Baker. Gregory Bechet. Savannah Bro. Miguel Castro. Keishan Desai. Nasim Al-Mujahid. Zainab Elsher. Tarek Gutter. Emily Gordon. Natasha Harpalani. Maya Kanda. Monica Karki. Haley Kong. Luke Lemos. Cameron Marshall. Ross Melman. Rohit Marigu. Kyle Murchison. Clayton Olinger. Tilak Patel. Yasmin Rodriguez. Atharva Rohatgi. Natalie Schmidt. Rojesh Shakya. Jeremy Sims. Isabel Snow. Joshua Tang. Jonah Vest. Richard Westfall III. Amanda Zwick. Members of the audience, please join me in a big round of applause to officially welcome our Schmidt College of Medicine class of 2025 to the medical community and Florida Atlantic University. Students, if you're not seeing this, you are getting a well-deserved standing ovation. Thank you, Dr. Wood. You may now please return to your seat. Dr. Caceres, would you please join me at the podium for the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine oath? During their week-long orientation, our students worked collectively to create their own oath, a code of conduct that they are committed to following throughout their education and as physicians after completion of medical school. At this time, our students will recite their oath in unison, led by the following representatives chosen by the class for this important part of the ceremony: Keshe Alford, Jessica Barron, Kishan Desai, Zainab Elsher, Natasha Harpalani, Cameron Marshall, Ali Mohammed, Hannah Weiss. Will you please join me at the podium for the class of 2025 oath? Audience, only the students will recite their oath. However, I call your attention to the screens behind me. Students, please rise so you may recite your oath.
As the students of the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine, class of 2025, we pledge to strive for academic excellence in our pursuit of lifelong learning.
Contribute to the advancement of medicine through our commitment to research and discovery. Uphold the highest standards of ethics and professionalism and serve as role models.
Foster a supportive environment to promote the well-being of our class and community.
Cultivate a person-centered, inclusive environment by recognizing and actively addressing our implicit biases.
Respect patient autonomy through empathy and shared decision-making.
Advocate for our patients and acknowledge the impact of social determinants of health.
Build trust with our patients by demonstrating a balance of social, cultural, and professional competencies. Support our patients and colleagues through interprofessional collaboration.
Honor those who came before us and those who have and will continue to support our journey. By embodying these tenets, we will commit ourselves to a life that will bring honor to our profession and, above all, do no harm.
That was wonderful. Thank you. Please be seated.
Congratulations to the class of 2025 and to your family and friends who are here today to share in this special occasion with you. The white coats you are wearing today have all been sponsored by very generous members of the community at large and our university community through the fundraising event, White Coats for Care. The event is co-chaired by Bonnie and John Kay of Kay Communications. Vital scholarship funds have also been raised through the annual White Coats for Care event. Students, please check your right pocket to see who has sponsored your white coats. Once again, thank you to the Palm Beach County Medical Society for generously donating new stethoscopes to each member of the class of 2025. We are most grateful for the continued support from Dick and Barbara Schmidt and the Schmidt Family Foundation for their vision of a biomedical science program and a medical school at Florida Atlantic University, and to all of you for your continued support of our students and our college. We would like to say a special thank you to the College of Medicine's Advisory Board Chairman, Dr. Michael Dennis. He has supported the creation and the growth of the college from the beginning. Without his vision and support, we would not be here today. Thank you, Dr. Dennis. We are now ready to conclude our ceremony. Class of 2025, you have received your first doctor's white coat, and you will work very, very hard. You may even struggle at times. But the privilege you have been given to serve the community heavily outweighs the sacrifices you may make. Medicine is, after all, a labor of love. It is a calling and not a job. Who you are and who you become as a physician is just as, or if not more important than what you know. As you continue on this journey, I would like you to remember 3 words: humankind, patient-centered, and healthcare. You have now placed yourself in the service of humankind. The most important word, or part of that word, is kind. Such a simple concept, yet too often overlooked. Stay kind and be kind. Patient-centered. As you find yourself growing busier each day, especially when you become a physician, you may find yourself getting a little lost at times. Keep the patient at the center, and I promise you, you will always find your way. Healthcare. As our healthcare system continues to evolve, make a point to keep the care in healthcare. Care for your patients, care for your loved ones, and care for the community. And always remember to care for yourselves. Future colleagues, you have chosen a noble profession, and we are very proud of you. We wish you every success in your education, training, and your life as a physician. On behalf of the Schmidt College of Medicine and Florida Atlantic University, we thank all of our distinguished guests here today, and especially our students and their families and friends for attending this very special event and bearing witness as our students begin their journey on becoming physicians. Audience, I ask you to please remain seated until our faculty and all of our students exit the auditorium. Thank you all for joining us today.